Alright, I'm on hole number 6 of the Summer Major. I'm in Monday's practice round of the Rookie Division, and yes, it is a practice round. So if you're watching these videos for perfect shot demos, this is not the ones to watch. Now, I played this hole once. I played it one time, I got an Albie the very first time I played it. And this is what I learned. So I was right out here. And it's important to keep this mouth open. So if you look at where we're at, let's see if we can scroll out just a bit. See where the tee box is back here? Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. So let's draw a line here. Hey. So if we draw that line from where we're back there up to the tee box, we want to keep this mouth open. So if you hit way out here, way out in this area, and you're coming at it, I have no idea what it's going to look like. I know from the upper divisions you're probably going to have to hit up here, and it looks like you'll probably have to bring some backspin clubs, because depending on where you're at, if you hit out in this area here so that you're engaging it here, you're not going to have a lot of room to stop. So you're going to have to bring something that's got some backspin. If you're hitting way out here to the tip, you know, this hollow depression that's in the ground right here, that's going downhill right there, and this could be a tricky shot. If you want to hit up on the green where you're on the green, you're going to have to bring a club. So if you're over here, I think you're going to have to bring clubs with backspin. I'm not sure which way the wind's blowing. One of the things I watch when I go back and watch these practice rounds is which way the wind's blowing, because you always want to be trying to come at the hole. Hopefully here we'll have a wind that's going in this direction, because that way if we do hit out here, we're hitting with the wind, as opposed to if the wind was going in this direction, then when we get out here, now we've got a side wind to try and get into the hole. So we want to be cognizant of which way the wind's blowing. So if the wind was blowing like this, then we're out here, we're going to have a side wind. Whereas if we came out here, we may have a pure tailwind. But this shot from out here is going to be, you're going to have to really make sure you bring the right clubs. And you're hitting into a very narrow area out here where you're trying to get your ball to drift into an area at the end of its run. You have very little control. And down here to the right, we've got this huge, massive fairway. Now, the risk here is that if you're trying to keep this mouth open, this mouth right here, the sand trap's right in your way. So if you're on this side of the sand trap, you're probably going to be maybe minimum wood, depending on the ball that you bring. If you hit over here, you're going to be more in your long iron range if you bring a 3-power ball, but you may have to maneuver just a little to get to it. Not a lot, but a little. If you bring a Saturn, and the thing about a Saturn is that you can get all the way up wherever your red line is. I think my red line was in that area right there with a Saturn, so I could eke up against it because it's got more backspin. If you've got a lower developed, if you don't have a lot of backspin, or with your long iron, or you like to use a long iron that doesn't have a lot of backspin, you're probably going to need to bring a ball that's got more side spin. I'm going to hit this with a Titan and just try and lay it up out here, but avoid the sand. The closer I can get up here, the better. But you got to avoid the sand. That's going to be key. And I'm going to bring my Saturn, even though my backbone has got pretty good backspin on it. I like my Saturn a little bit better. I play with my Saturn a lot, and so I'm pretty comfortable with it. And it's a great utility club. It's not quite as accurate as a backbone, but it does a lot of things good. It's got a little bit better ball guide. It's got better backspin. The only thing it's lacking from a backbone is accuracy. I've got a cold. I've been sick. I played the Glen Monarch 9-hole cup. Finished, worked a little bit, got sick. Been sick ever since. Alright, I go first. We are getting forward moving wind. So the wind's going to move me forward 2 rings. So it's going to move me forward that far. I definitely want to end up to that side of that sand. So the goal here is not to do anything special. No overpower, no nothing. Just try and hit it straight out there. Hit it great to the left. I have more room to the left than I do to the right. And not while it's flying, but when it gets to the end of its run, the right puts me closer to that sand. You definitely want to avoid that sand trap. If you're trying to keep that mouth fully open, going into the green, you're going to put that sand trap more into play. I would, however, like to be closer to the sand than where I am. Sorry about that. The old farmer version of blowing my nose. See what our opponent does. They brought what kind of ball did they bring? They brought one of those special balls. What kind of distance did they get? Okay, let's see where I'm at my red line here. So I got plenty of room to get in front of that trap. So this is one of the benefits of a Saturn versus a backbone is get a little bit more. I could try and backspin it right in, but I'm going to go for the, so it's 3.6, it's 1.9 per ring, so there's 3.8. It's a little bit of an overpull. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. Just a little bit over 2 rings. Hitting it perfect. Should get a pretty good read here. Pretty good shot. That's the second time I've been on this hole, and the first time I hit an Albie. And the second time I almost hit an Albie. I definitely think that that'll be the combo that I can take. But from that angle right there, with that kind of distance, I think you could still achieve that with a backbone, and you've got better accuracy with a backbone. So if you like to play with your backbone, that's probably a great shot for you. But it does look like I'll have to go back and look at that wind adjustment on whether or not I made a little teeny bit of an over adjustment on that, just a little. But I'll have to go back and really be critical of those numbers to see what kind of adjustment I made and where I ended up, and see if my numbers are right, to see whether I need to make an over adjustment or an under adjustment, and kind of work that math, and also be very critical of where my ball guide was and how I was lined up to the hole. It's one of the benefits of filming myself when I play, is I can go back and watch the video and really look at those. It's important because everybody's got different clubs. So it doesn't really matter where your clubs are. I have an account that's got low-level clubs, and I have just as much success with it. It's just that you have to know your numbers, and you got to know where you're at. Let's see, is this the one? All right, I've got a Guardian. I've been wanting to play this hole with a Guardian, but every time I've hit it here, I've had a sniper in my bag. I just wanted to see if I could actually get on the green from this side without having to hit it over, and whether or not it'll backspin back towards the hole. I really don't like being that close, but I want to see if it'll backspin towards the hole. So I'm going to, because I could bring a bigger side spin ball. It's a minimum club, so it's a 1.7. There's 3, 4. I'll have to snap this off. Hit it great to the right. My goal here is just to see if it backspins and will actually come back towards the hole, or whether it stops. And it stops. So if I want to guarantee myself a birdie, I'd probably bring a Guardian. But it looks like I'd have very little chance for hole in one, because what I'd have to do if I came here with a Guardian is I'd have to start it off over here and try and bring it to the hole. So a bigger side spin ball starting off over here, and if I brought a ball like a 2-power ball, like a Katana, that gives me less power, so I've got a little bit more maneuverability to move the ball back. I was right at the red line. and I'd have more side spin. I could actually start the ball off a little bit to the right, so I have more room to maneuver my ball within my club, and that side spin would help me bring it back towards the hole. So I'm gonna put on my notes the next time I play this hole to try it out with a Guardian and a Katana. And if I still don't like that shot, then I'll start working on the shot from the other side. But I'm pretty much gonna guarantee you that I'm gonna try it from the I'm gonna try and backspin it on. I think you can get really close on that hole if you're hitting from, I'm not sure which one that is. I think it might be this one, which is the next hole we're going to play. So I think if you're here, I'm going to play this in the very next hole. So I'm going to bring a Guardian and a Katana and play this the next round so that I can work my number out here a little bit more and see if I can side spin it in. But I definitely want to start off on this side as opposed to this side. If you're starting off over here, it goes downhill, so you're going to have to make an extra adjustment. So watch the next hole and see how it works out. All right, that was hole number 6 of the Summer Major, 2019 Summer Major. It's in Monday's practice round. Thanks for watching.